Greetings, Voidpilots, and welcome to our very first live stream. My name is Alex Gurley, and I am the creator of Voidpilot's Legacy. Voidpilot's Legacy is the first game to take place in our brand new science fiction universe known as Chronicles of the Stellar Drive Empire. The game is published by the gaming studio that my brother and I founded called C Stories Creative Studios. We're here tonight to give you a preview of the game as we prepare for our Kickstarter launch on October 1st. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone watching, whether that's live with us right now or in the future on YouTube. We really appreciate you being with us here, especially this evening. And man, we're so excited to show you this game. We really hope that you guys love playing this game as much as we love making it. So for the show tonight, we're going to bring on our executive producer, Alex Gurley. He's going to deliver some updates on what we're doing as we prepare for October 1st. And then we'll jump into the setup of the game. I'll explain all the most important cards, important concepts. And then we're going to try and get at least one run completed. If we have time, we'll try and do a little bit more. I'll be going slow. I'll be explaining all the cards. We'll be taking our time. We're going to be answering questions on chat. Nick will be answering questions on the chat itself, and he'll be relaying questions to me verbally for things that are happening on the table. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the executive producer of Voidpilot's Legacy, as well as the other half of C Stories Creative Studios, my brother from the same mother, Alex Gurley. Nick, welcome to the chat. It says great picture, but no audio from Nick. Silent film. Well, this is the joy of live streams, right?
I know, right?
No worries.
It says it's getting there. I'm not sure if that's them just being nice or if they actually think they can hear me better. So
okay, well, it's totally maxed. But that's okay, because I'll be the one. Oh, he says I hear a little bit now. Okay, so I'm the one that's going to be talking anyway. So as long as you guys can hear me, everything should be good. I can still hear Nick. So if still like 10% of my level. Okay, so when Nick is talking to me, I'll hear him just fine. He'll relay any questions in chat, and we'll just go from there. So as long as you guys can hear me, everything's fine. So we're going to go to the main screen here. This is our primary setup. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. I'm going to go over all of the cards. This is actually our game mat that just came in today. This is our second prototype of the game mat. I was able to squeeze in pretty much everything necessary for this beginning playthrough. There's a few elements over here to the side that you would use in the later games, but we won't reach that tonight, so no worries there. All right, so we've got our dice tray up here. We've got our components section here. We've got red cubes. These pretty much represent most everything going on. Okay, I was just checking chat there. And we've got these blue.
so you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Okay, no worries. It's just fun to see what's going on in chat. Okay, so we've got these blue cubes. These are acrylic. This is what you'll get in the, I believe it's the Kickstarter exclusive edition, if I remember correctly. And then we'll have upgraded components as well that are available. And you'll be able to see all that in Kickstarter. We'll talk about that more another time. We've got our D6 dice here. We've got a D20, and we've got a D10. These mark the hull points of both your ship and the enemy ship. All right, so on the top you see the combat decks. I know there's a lot of glare on this particular card. It's okay, it just says the same thing as the others, which is basically combat. And I'll go ahead and show you that here. So you can see on the bottom that they're separated by run. So run 1 and 2 are the basic enemies. Run 3 through 6 are the advanced enemies. And then run 7 and 8 are the elite enemies in this deck. All right, our next row, we've got our loot deck. This is where you get all kinds of technologies for your ship. Essentially, they're going to be drawn randomly. The 3 cards next to it is the station market. So when you're at a space station, you're able to buy one of the technologies that you see here. These can be cycled out at the end of each run, so basically after a jump. So you can expect to see different types of technologies appear in the station market as the game goes on. Next we have the colonies card. This has a lot of green in it, so it's not going to do so well on that other camera, but I'll hold it up here. So this is the colonies tracker card. And basically, anytime you complete work at a colony, it tracks how many successful colonies you visited. And each time you do that, you move the marker along the track, gaining the reward. So the top one is a new crew member. The next one is repairing a hull in the ship, and so on and so forth. After the end of the track, you gain a little cube, and that cube is worth 5 legacy points at the end of the game. So you can keep going through the cycle of planets to increase your legacy points through colonies. All right, next up is we have, this is where our ship card will go. We're going to ask you guys to help us choose a ship. We've got 4 ships to choose from. We'll get to that here in just a minute. That's where the ship card goes. Then at the very bottom is kind of your ship status display, if you will. But these are your modules. These are the most important part of your ships. So on the far side, we have the stellar drive. This tells us the run number that we're currently on. So a run is kind of like a round in this game. So we're currently on run 1. And then as we go, we'll be removing fuel cubes off of the card and then rotating the card. So this will be run 2. And then eventually you'll flip it this way to run 3. And then run 4. Flip it again to run 5, run 6, 7, and 8. So that's how the stellar drive card works. I'm going to go ahead and put our 4 fuel cubes that we start with on the stellar drive. Then we have our reactor module. This module tells us how much power we have. Ooh, that's terrible. let's show that up here. There we go. That's a lot of yellow and green in there. This is the reactor module. So this tells us how much power we actually have to play with. So we're going to be moving power around these different modules to make them more effective during the game. So in the beginning, you get 5 reactor cube or power disks. So we'll put it there. Next up is shields. So we've got shields is basically like your defense. Is that pretty bad? That's pretty bad. So I'll hold it up here. Shields is like your defense. The shields, after each combat round, just immediately regenerate. So they kind of never go away. And they will help to dampen the damage that's coming through to your hull. Each icon will show you the state of the module based on whether or not it's powered, so whether or not it has one of those blue cubes on it. If there's no blue cube on it, then it's considered lowered. What's that? Oh, disk. Blue I said cube. You keep saying cube. My bad. Disk. Thank you. So yeah, if you put a cube on this, or I said it again, if you put a disk on it, then you'll have 4 shields, and then each additional disk will do a little bit more. This will be +2 in this case. Then at the very bottom, it gives you the power limit. That's the maximum number of disks you can have on the card. So in this case, it's actually limited by run number. So we can only have 1 power disk on this card.
At least for the first run.
For this run, that's right.
Also, don't forget about the orientation markers too.
Oh yeah, and also you'll see at the top left of the card, these are the starting orientation markers. When you're starting the game and you set it all up, everything is going to start with this orientation marker in the top left of the card. So this is the engines. This is sort of like your agility. Actually, it is your agility. That's the agility symbol. If you had no power on it, it would be 0. If you had 1 power on it, it would be 1. And then each additional power will give you +1 with a power limit of 2. This little symbol in the bottom is the orientation of the card when you upgrade it. So in this case, it means to flip it from bottom to top. And so it becomes the upgraded version of that card. Next is the life support module. This tells you how many people you can support on your ship at any one time. If you have no power, you can support 3. If you have 1 power, you can support 5. And then for each additional power, you can support 2 more with a power limit of 2. Crew in this game is essentially your rerolls. So you really want to have as much crew as you can. So I'm going to put the 3 markers, that's your starting crew for the first game. This is your basic laser, which is a weapons module. You can see on there, there's 3d6, 2+, that's your accuracy. So this weapon hits on a dice roll of 2 or better. If it's unpowered, it's offline. You can't use it at all. If you add 1 power, it does 1 damage. And then for each additional power, it does 1 additional damage. There's a power limit of 3. And this little arrow here means that it's upgradable. That means there's an upgrade slot on this module. You could instantly slot something in there if you had it. You'll notice that a lot of the other cards don't have that yet, but they will once you upgrade them, and you'll get additional slots. In this case, the basic laser gains an additional upgrade slot for 2. And then finally, we have the utilities module. This module allows us to equip subsystems. Subsystems help us complete events. They help to make the accuracy number or the success chance a lower number to make it easier to be successful. The trick to this is that you need to route your power through the utilities module before it can go to a subsystem. And then when you're coming out, you got to go from subsystem to utility to another module. So you have to think ahead, you got to plan ahead when it comes to powering your subsystems. So that's it for the cards that are in front of us here. These are basically the starting setup. And now you're going to choose a ship. Or actually, we could choose our victory condition. So there are many victory conditions that you can choose from. They're listed in, I'm not sure if they're in the rulebook yet. Are they in the rulebook, Nick?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
They'll be in the rulebook once we do the final decisions on which ones will make it into which versions of the game.
Okay, so all right, excellent. So right now they're not in the rulebook, but they will be. But there are different scenarios that you can choose. Some will be something like visit 3 starship graveyards by the end of the game. And that means you have to have all of your salvaging cards maximum upgraded by the last run. So that kind of gives you a goal. If you don't use one of those scenario cards, then you basically just have to survive through run 8, which is not as easy as it sounds, as I'm sure Nick will agree. Okay, so I'm going to ask chat to help me decide which ship we should fly for this demonstration. I'll go through each one real quick, and then I guess he'll keep an eye out on chat, and we'll figure out who's got the most enthusiastic backing here. Okay, so
Give them a second because they're on a delay here. But
yes, of course.
Start showing off the ship.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so this is the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is a gunship. This is if you are combat heavy. If you want to do some real heavy damage, essentially. This is Nick's favorite card, and I would have him explain it to you, but I realize that you probably can't hear him that well. But it's got 12 hull points. This is his absolute favorite. It's got a maximum crew of 8. It's got 3 weapon hard points, which is very nice, very nice. And then it's got 1 upgrade slot, which they all have that. And then the special ability is that you get to roll 1 additional die during combat. And if you wish to use that die, it can replace another dice. So let's say it rolls a 6 and you only have 3 1s on your normal 3 dice. You can choose to replace one of those 1s with that 6. Or you can choose not to use the other dice and instead repair 1 hull. So very, very good in combat. So that's the Valkyrie. Next is the Talon. The Talon is kind of your standard freighter. This is more of your very balanced start. Okay, so this has 12 hull points as well. It has 8 crew, but it only has 2 weapon hard points. And the ability on this one is that it allows you to bypass the utilities module 1 time with 1 power. And this is once per management, power management. So you can move a power from any module to any one subsystem and back. Okay, so that's pretty useful. It's pretty useful, especially for completing events. That's the Talon. Next is the Mule. The Mule is the big boy. This thing is 15 hull points, which sounds like a lot. I mean, it sounds like, it's almost double of the other guys, right? It can hold 10 crew. That's a ton of rerolls. It's got 2 weapon hard points, which is nothing to laugh at. And it's got shielded cargo bays. So basically, while you're running through the event deck, if you have resource cards that would normally untap because they become the secondary event, you don't have to untap them. You just put them to the back of the deck while they're still tapped. So it really is very versatile in that way. However, it has a negative. And you'll notice that there's a red strip at the bottom. The enemy behavior, where it says on the enemy cards, there's a part where you determine that the behavior the enemy is going to do. When it says no combat, it's now combat. You're not getting away. So this one is it's great for moving cargo, but you are a big fat target. And finally, last but not least, we have the Lynx. This is the cargo runner. This is kind of like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. This is kind of like your Millennium Falcon, if you will, but it's your smuggling ship. This ship is great for smuggling. Now, it doesn't have hidden compartments, unfortunately. It can be scanned. However, if you do happen to be carrying illegal cargo when you get caught by authority, you can spend that illegal cargo to ignore the authority. So basically, you ditch that cargo, and you are able to escape the scan. This one's got 8 hull points. It's got 8 crew members and 3 hard points. So it can hold itself in a fight. All right, that's the Lynx.
And then make sure you remind them that we've got 2 more ships. We just haven't revealed them yet, so you
Yes.
can't show them right now.
That's right. I can't show you right now, but we do have 2 more ships coming up. They are they're really good. I can't really talk about them, but they're really good. I like them. I like them a lot. They're more specialized with for completing events, specific events. So when you're doing the different types of scenarios, they're going to be really good for that. I think you guys are going to like them. And the design is really cool on those ships as well. And I don't know if you noticed, but all this beautiful artwork, this was all done by Abram Buck of Abram Buck Designs. Lovingly done. He did a great job. We love these. Okay, so.
Okay, so I'm still waiting here on chat. Looks like I got, let's see.
Yeah, let's take a vote. Figure out.
3 for the Valkyrie, 1 for the Lynx.
3 for the Valkyrie.
Let's see, Mike
Jabba.
What are you saying if you jettison your cargo? I mean, Jabba the Hutt's not going to like that.
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, so what do we... it's looking like it's going to be Valkyrie. Is that about right?
I think it's probably going to end up being Valkyrie. Yep, all right. Yep, it's Valkyrie.
Okay, all right, we're going for the Valkyrie. You guys like some good old-fashioned combat, some aggression. All right, we'll do that. So we're going to put the Valkyrie up in the ship section here on the mat. We're going to put the D20 dice.
What's on the card? Don't forget.
What's that?
You got to go over what's on the card.
Oh, I did already.
The marker, all the goodies.
Let me go on it again? Go over it again?
Oh, you did all that? I'm sorry. Maybe I was paying attention.
Yeah, it's okay. I did it for all the ships. Okay, yeah. So I'll go over combat proficiency, which is its special ability when it's important again. But I did go over it once, but I'll go over it again once we use it. So we're going to use our D20 to mark our hull points. So we have 12 hull points, and the game is actually a red dice. This is it's one of the older prototypes of black dice. We're going to put a marker on this little gray spot here down. Let's see. Okay, I guess better hold that up. This is the wanted section. There's a red and a green and a gray box. You guys see that? So whatever is covered up is not what you are. You are whatever is displayed. So in the beginning, when you're not wanted, you just cover up the wanted symbol with the red cube. And then if you become wanted, you just slide that red cube over to cover up the green. This is really hard to do on camera. And then the red is displayed and you are now wanted. Okay, so we're just going to set that up as well. So we are not wanted. We have 12 hull. We can have a maximum of 8 crew. Currently we have 3 crew. We've got 5 power discs on our reactor module. We're going to put a marker on the start box of the colony's tracker card. So as we start completing stuff, we'll be moving down that track. And we've got the 4 starting fuel cubes on our stellar drive, and it's set to run 1. I think we're good. Any questions on any of that stuff, Nick? What do you think? Think we're ready to start?
Yeah, the game is set up. It looks like we're ready to play. I wish they could all hear me.
Yes, we are set up. We are ready to play. I wish they could hear you as well. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You shuffle your deck, again, making sure that all of the cards have that orientation symbol in the top left. Some of them will have the legacy point marker up there as well, and those will go down as you rotate those cards. Those are the enemy cards. So we've already shuffled the deck, so we're ready to go on that. Then we take the
jump card.
Yep, then we take the jump card, which is here, and we'll go over that in detail at the end of the run when we actually use it. But this is the end of the run. This marks the end of the run. Okay, so that's going to go on the back of the deck, and I think we are ready to start. All right, so this is our captain's event display. We have a primary event, that's our top event, and then the next one in our hand is our secondary event. And we're allowed to peek at our third event as well for future planning. So looking at these two possible events, we get to choose one to make it our active event. That just means that we're trying to resolve it. Okay, so we'll go over each one as we go through it, since we're going to go through each one as you will on every run. Okay, so in this case, we've got attempt to mine in a drift asteroid. This uses 1d6. We need a 3 or better to succeed. If we are successful, we'll gain some ore, which is at the very top of the card. We'll rotate this and then we'll gain that resource. We'll see that in a minute. Or if we had a Q to spend, we could upgrade this card, which would become a small asteroid field for later. However, if we fail, we will take hull damage on our ship. And remember, we only have 12 hull points on our ship. So we get to decide, do we want to do the adrift asteroid, or do we want to salvage in a drift life pod? This also is 1d6 at a 3+ to succeed. You can also upgrade this for 1Q. You would gain an alloy if we wanted to and we were successful. However, if you fail on this one, you lose a crew member. As you know, spacewalking is pretty dangerous. So that's the negative on that one. So we get to choose. Oh, and also we've got find work at an outpost coming up next, which at this point isn't really that relevant. Okay, so what do you guys think? What would y'all like to choose? Mining or salvaging?
And we got one for mining.
All right.
Still waiting. So there, by the way, just so you know, the audio is coming through your headphones, so it's probably getting picked up. So it's whatever the thing that we tried to fix earlier, it just came back. We had to do a reboot.
Oh, interesting. So is it worse or better or what?
No, they can't hear me because that's coming through. That's why it's so quiet on their side. It's just they're hearing it come through your headphones, probably.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's
yeah.
not worth thinking about. Okay, it's mining. We're doing mining.
Mining? Wow, got a lot of votes for mining. Okay, so we are going to make that our active event, which is put it on top of the deck, and we're going to roll 1d6, and we need a 3+. Please don't blame me for the dice rolls. I apologize in advance. Sometimes these dice belong in dice jail. Here we go. Hey! Okay, so we got a 4. That is greater than the 3+. So in this case, we don't have a choice. We'd love to spend a Q to upgrade this, but we don't have the choice. So we're going to instead tap it, and we're going to gain that resource, the ore, and it's going to go to the back of the deck. So it's going to basically look like this. And now we've got this ore to spend at a later time. All right, so now our tertiary event, the third event, has now become our secondary, and our drift life pod is now our primary. We get to choose between the drift life pod and finding work at the outpost. Bearing in mind that the outpost is going to help you move up on the colony tracker card, and that's going to give you even more rewards. So something to think about if we do that is that we should probably power our life support module so that we can hold more than 3 crew, because the next space on the colony's tracker card is to gain a new crew member, which we couldn't take if we don't have power into life support. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now before we decide our next event. And then you guys tell me, what would you like to do next? So we can either salvage or find work at an outpost.
All right, we got chat's thinking about it.
All right. Oh, and also the next event is a cargo contract. And I'll tell you a little bit about the cargo contract here once we get to that.
Alright, Mr. Spaceman is currently the only one for skipping salvage and going right for the outpost. All right, it's gonna be the outpost. Looks like.
Oh, we got a colony guy.
Everyone's going for the outpost.
Outpost. Okay, outpost it is. Okay, so again, we're just going to make that the primary event. Let's put it at the top of the deck. And this one requires 1d6. We need a 3 or better to be successful. We have no Qs to spend, so we cannot upgrade this. However, it'll give us a Q if we're successful, and it will move us up the track, which will gain us an additional crew member. And we have powered the life support modules so we can support them. Here we go. Wow, all right, another 4. Are these weighted dice? They might be. They are. Good job, dice. Very nice. I'm proud of you. Okay, so in this case, again, we're going to just go ahead and take the reward. We're going to take the resource, the Q. We're going to go to our colonies card down here. We're going to move it to our first planet, and it has a symbol for gaining a crew member, which is the green crew member icon. So we will grab a cube and put it on our life support. We can now support 5 crew members, by the way, as long as it remains powered. If you move that power from that card at any time, your crew members immediately die. So we're going to try to not do that. Okay.
And I noticed that you actually decided to keep your reactor, basically all your power disks mostly on the reactor.
Yes.
It looks like that way, or normally you'd probably have some kind of standardized or earlier system, right?
Well, in this case, I'm just leaving it this way. I'm just waiting to see what happens in the beginning. But yes, so power management happens before you would resolve an active event or actually choose an active event. And you can, when you do that, it's optional. So you don't have to do it, but you can. Oftentimes, you'll find a nice groove in the beginning. But you will have to change things here and there as we continue on. So for now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is, but I'm going to keep that one in life support. All right, so next we have the Adrift Life Pod and now a cargo contract. So the cargo contract is free to take. For free, you can tap the card and gain this little cargo icon. And you'll notice next to it is a red Q. Okay? The red Q can be spent like a Q, like any normal Q. However, it means that you're selling the cargo on the black market, and it is illegal to do that. Basically, you're going to be reported for theft, and you'll become wanted. So I don't really recommend doing that if you're a beginner in the game. However, I'm not a beginner, and I love that. So it's a good idea if you want to spend those Qs to go ahead and take the cargo contract. However, you do need an upgraded space station to turn in cargo contracts, and we have not upgraded any space stations. So normally, if you didn't want to play dangerously, then I would not recommend taking a cargo contract immediately. You'll notice it here.
It's a good time to talk about the limits on how many resource cards you can have.
Yeah, so you can have up to 4 resource cards tapped at any one time. There can be multiple resources on the card, but you can have only up to 4 cards at any one time. If you gain a resource, you'll have to, and you have more than 4, you'll have to get rid of one of them. You just spend it, basically discard it, essentially, which is the same as spending. Yeah, excellent point. Okay, guys. So with that in mind, would you like to do the Adrift Life Pod, or the cargo contract, with the idea that mining is coming up next?
Waiting for an answer.
All right.
Someone aims to misbehave. Okay, so I'm guessing. Okay, we got 1 for cargo. So basically, right now we're at 1 for cargo, 1 for life pod, 2 for cargo, 2 for cargo, 1 for life pod. Toxic Penguin, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Is he aiming to misbehave?
Yep, I'm not sure.
Patrick.
I think that means cargo.
Patrick.
I think it's cargo.
Are we going cargo?
Yeah,
Okay.
cargo.
All right, so we're going to take the cargo. Cargo, there it is. All right, so we're going to take the cargo contract. We're going to make that the primary event. And we're just going to take it. We're just going to take that event. Boom. So now we've got 3 resource cards. We've got 2 queues if we want to be bad boys and girls. And we also have an ore to spend. So now we have mining, salvaging, and we've got another outpost coming up behind that. So we can choose salvaging or mining. Now, we have queues to spend. So we need to think about this. Should we be upgrading? Well, we definitely should be upgrading these events. So we have at least 1 legal queue to upgrade, and we could actually spend the second one to upgrade the other. So this is looking pretty good. And we also have that outpost coming up. So we know that we're going to get another legal queue. In fact, we could do, if we wanted to stay legal, we could do one of these and then do the outpost on the next one. And then we'd have 2 queues to upgrade both of these events. So that's just a thought. What do you guys think? That's true. Yeah. Could be a life. Nice. Could be a life.
Could be a life. You know, medical equipment is very important.
Medical equipment is very important. Okay, so what do you guys think? Did you already pose that question? Oh, you did. Okay.
All right, you got mining.
1 for mine.
You got 1 for mining.
Okay. One for
upgrade.
Okay. We can still do that.
Okay, 2 for mining. I think we're going mining.
Going mining. Okay. So we're gonna mine.
3 for mining. We're mining.
We're mining. Okay. So again,
Totally lost you.
What's that?
There you go. You're back.
Lost me?
Lost for a second.
Oh, okay.
You're back.
Okay. So all right, we're gonna mine. So we need a 3 or better for the Adrift asteroid. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So we've got a choice. Obviously, mining is very dangerous. There's a lot of rocks floating around out there. And at the moment, if we just leave it be, we hit a rock and we move on. We'll take some hull damage if that's the case. Or one of our crew members could be heroically sacrifice themselves to allow us to roll again. That's not a guarantee. Understand, this is not a guarantee. Okay, we could still end up losing the hull point and a crew member if this does not work out for us. So keep that in mind. Do we want to sacrifice a crew member to re-roll the dice? So this game, you're going to find there's a lot of push your luck. There's a lot of risk taking involved. There's a lot of decision making. It's about trying to mitigate all the bad things that can possibly happen whilst trying to do these events in space. Hull is a resource.
Man, I got
That's right.
2 people telling us to just toss the crew in the back.
Yeah? Are we gonna use a crew? Push the random dude in the back into the reactor? No chance. Oh my. For the glory of mining.
Or we could use a hull.
That's true. We can lose the yeah, we can lose the noob. Are we?
It's crew.
Are we doing crew?
It's the crew.
Okay, we're losing crew. All right, this is Timmy. Is this Timmy, chat?
This is Timmy.
All right. Oh God, Timmy.
Who was looking forward to him returning home.
Oh, Timmy.
Terrible.
I'm so sorry, Timmy. All right, Timmy has been sacrificed. Let's see what Timmy's sacrifice does for us. Oh, it is a 3+. We got it, guys. We got it. That was fantastic. Well done. Now we have a choice. Do we want to upgrade this mining card, or do we want to just take the ore? We can either upgrade it or we can take the ore. What do you guys think? At this point, we do have another ore. We could spend a legal queue to upgrade. I highly recommend that we do upgrade it because in later runs, we're going to want more ore. And on the next run through, it would be a small asteroid field. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous. I'll show you this here. It's going to be a little bit harder to complete because it's a small asteroid field. But it's going to give us a victory point, and it's going to give us more ore when we're successful. So we have to choose.
That has chosen the upgrade.
Upgrade? Okay.
Yep.
Upgrade it is. All right, so I'm assuming we want to spend the legal queue and stay not wanted for a while. Chat has chosen the upgrade.
Greg, should I ask the chat that question?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's ask the chat. Do we want to stay legal, or do we want to sell the cargo on the black market and use that to upgrade the card? What would Timmy want? What would Timmy want? That's a great question. I think Timmy would probably, I mean, the fact that he has his daughter and everything and the wedding and all that, I feel like he would probably want to stay not wanted. That's my guess.
Ooh, we got two people saying black market. They really want you to fail this game.
Okay, all right, we're going to do it. Black market. All right, we're doing it. So this is how you spend a resource. Basically, you just untap it. You don't pull it out of where it is in the deck, so it maintains its order throughout the deck. If at any time any of these tap cards come back up to the top and they become the secondary event, then they just get untapped, they get discarded essentially, and then put to the back of the deck. So we do want to spend things before they come back up to the top of the deck. All right, so we have done that. We're now wanted. So over here on our ship card, we're going to slide this wanted cube over, and it's indicating now that we're wanted. So if we run into authority, which we're going to because we haven't run into authority yet, we will have to have combat with them. Something to note about this game, this is a solo game, and to me, I believe that a really good solo game is a puzzle. So the best kinds of puzzles are the ones that give you all the information up front. You have a lot of information up front, so you can kind of make these strategic decisions as you go. This game, of course, throws in a few bits of chance, which you're able to mitigate through crew and hull damage.
Make sure you say it's an exciting puzzle.
Which is, yeah, it's a very exciting puzzle. It's a fun, difficult, but exciting puzzle. That's right. Okay, so we've done that. So we went ahead and let's see, we upgraded this. So we're going to upgrade this. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. You can see that the blue icon there is a 180-degree icon. So we're going to rotate that 180 degrees, and it's going to go to the back of the deck. So now we have an adrift life pod and work at an outpost. Thankfully, you guys already are aware of how these work. So it should be a pretty easy choice. Keep in mind that, let's see what's coming up next. We've got another life pod coming up in the back. That'll be the last one for this run. So the outpost will give us another Q, and that extra Q we could use, of course, to upgrade both this life pod and the one behind it. So keep in mind that it might be a good idea to go ahead and do the outpost. Also, we're going to repair a hull. Ooh, you know what? We should have just taken the hull damage. I think that Toxic was correct in that we should have just taken the hull damage, because now we're going to repair it anyway as we move down the colonies tracker. So that was a good call for Patrick. All right, so what do we think about the outpost versus the adrift life pod? Salvage or find work?
Like we're working. We're going back to work.
You're going to work? Okay, we're going to do work then. So we'll put that as our active event. And I know this looks a little wonky with me on camera when I do this, but it's very easy when you're not trying to like show the camera. Okay, so we're going to find work at this outpost. We need a 3 or better. Oh, you know, one of the choices we didn't decide was whether or not we upgrade this outpost. Oh, well, I guess it's not going to matter. All right, we did not complete our task at this outpost. So, once again, we're faced with the question. We can either sacrifice one of our loving, loyal crew members, or we can take a hull damage to reroll the dice. What shall we do? What do you guys think?
Sorry, I thought the chat was like delayed, and I accidentally dropped the chat a little early.
Oh, that's okay. Should we sacrifice or take hull damage to reroll?
Michael Green is curious about the life pod, the salvage of the life pod.
Oh, was anybody in it? No.
Yeah.
No, nobody was in it.
No.
Not this time.
No.
It's been out there for a long time. Oh, hull damage. Okay, so we're going to take the hull damage?
Yep.
That is a great plan, because if we're successful, we repair the hull, and then it's no big deal, right? So this is a great.
No big deal.
However, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. Let's see. Oh, that was fantastic. All right, so we did get a 5+. Now we have to choose. Do we repair the hull and get the Q and be happy with that, or we can spend this Q to upgrade the outpost, which will then become a settlement on the next run, which will give us a victory point, 2 Qs if we complete the colony, final work of the settlement, and it will cost 2 Qs next time to upgrade it even further. But it is a little harder because it's a 4+ now to be successful. So do we want to upgrade the outpost, or do we want to just take it, take the resource, take the Q, and repair the hull?
Upgrade from Maxter, okay. Upgrade from Mr. Spaceman. Z-Warrior upgrade.
Got to give it that upgrade. Okay. Wow, I think we're upgrading. You guys are pretty good at this. All right, so upgrade. We're gonna spend the Q. That's right. We're gonna spend the Q. So once again, we just untap it. Do not remove it from its position in the deck. If at any time you happen to drop the card, by the way, if you drop the card and you lose the orientation, just restart it at the beginning orientation and just put it back in the deck. Don't worry about it. All right, so we did upgrade this. It's rotate 180 degrees and return to the back of the deck. We have another, we have 2, that's right. So now we have 2 of the Adrift life pods. So I think we know what we're doing. I think we know what we're doing. Coming up, we've got another cargo contract, so that's pretty good.
Oh my God, we are going to have so much combat.
Oh my God, it's true. Oh, it's true. All right, so we're gonna. Yeah, so we're gonna do the Adrift life pod because at this point, those are our choices. So we need a 3+ for this. Okay, good. We got a 5. We do not have a Q to spend, so we're just gonna take the alloy. And now we have the Drift Life Pod, we have the cargo contract, and we have a pirate transmission coming up. So the fun is about to begin with the combat. So do we want to do another Adrift Life Pod, or do we want to take the cargo contract first, which will give us a Q to potentially upgrade the Adrift Life Pod? Hint, hint. I think that's probably a pretty good idea. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. Should we take the cargo contract first, or do the Adrift Life Pod first?
Okay, we are waiting for chat.
Okay. Who shuffled this deck? Oh, it's true.
There's going to be like 3... Oh, it's going to be ugly. Cargo all the way from Mr. Spaceman. Let's see.
Cargo all the way?
Oh.
Yep.
Cargo.
I'm thinking cargo is the... Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you guys on that one. Okay, so let's take the cargo contract. We're already wanted. Now, Adrift Life Pod, pirate transmission. We have a choice. We can attempt this Adrift Life Pod, potentially upgrade it, be happy with that, or we can immediately go into combat with the pirate, and he's got ore and a Q for his resources if we are successful. So, what's that? All good? And then the upcoming contract is a smuggling contract. Oh my gosh. And we haven't seen Authority yet, so we know this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. All right, so...
We're just going to be bad.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Adrift Life Pod, upgrade it, or pirate transmission right off the bat?
I'm hearing battle.
Battle?
This could go really bad.
This could. This could go poorly. What do you guys think? What are we thinking? So far, battle, pirate. I see that. Pod upgrade.
It's combat. We're doing it.
Let's put this combat ship to use. Okay, combat ship it is. All right, so we're going to move the pirate transmission to the active event. And it says combat, which basically just means draw from the combat deck, the associated combat deck. So I'm going to put these over here for now. When you're playing the game normally, you can pretty much hold all of this in one hand. So you can kind of roll, you can do everything with the other hand. I'm going to put it down just for the stream, okay? So we're going to draw our first combat card. This is run 1 and 2. Let's see what we got. We have a Disruptor. That's a basic ship, basic enemy ship. I know it's difficult to read in this with this camera setup here, but at the very top you'll see Authority or Pirate. And this is a pirate transmission. They said, we'll make this quick. I'll show you that here. So it's going to be a pirate. So the pirate gets a behavior roll. So we get to roll 1d6. And then we're going to compare it to the chart. So in this case, we got a 4. Oh, wow. Okay. A 4 to 6 is an escape with no combat. So that was a pretty lucky roll. I know you guys will probably want to see combat. We'll fight them anyway, guys. Don't worry. But if you would roll the 1 through 2, it's, you know, you have to do combat. If you roll the 3, you have a chance to pay off the pirate by discarding a resource card. So it's untapping one of the resource cards. However, that's considered a failure. So you would still, it would be a fail condition and you would not gain the resources for the battle, obviously. And then if you escape no combat, that's just a lucky roll and you would just get out. So in this case, we get to choose to fight. And that's what we're going to do. So we've got our stats for the pirate here. The red 3 is its hull. The orange 3 is the agility. And the blue 2 is its shields. Its weapons are a 3d6 that hit on a 2+, and the damage it does is based on the run. So in this case, we're on run 1. It'd be pretty weak. He does have an EMP pulse, so for each 6 rolled by him, return one of our power chips, power discs, to the reactor module for the next combat round. It's going to be over a total of 4 combat rounds, and then we can attempt to board him since we haven't attempted to board anyone else on this run. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. Hopefully somewhere you guys can see it better. How's that?
Oh. The green screen thing.
That's true. That's a good idea. Okay. All right, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and populate that. We're going to put the 3 for its hull points. And then we're going to put our 3 combat round markers at the bottom of the card. Is that lined up? Pretty good. Okay, so where are we? Now we're going to do a power management phase. So in this case,
I can move the card off to the side more so you can see what you're doing.
Whoop. There we go. We're going to do a power management phase. We're going to go ahead and put, so we don't need that extra 1 in life support anymore because we only have 3 crew members. So we can do that without the extra power. In this case, I'm going to put 3 power, which is our max power, into our basic laser. I'm going to do 1 for our engines to give us a little bit of agility, and then I'll do 1 for shields. And remember, our max right now is 1, so that gives us 4 shields for this combat. Okay, I'm going to move this back over here a little. What do you think? Is this good enough? What do you think, Nick? That's perfect? Okay.
Looks great.
Excellent. Okay, so we are all powered up for combat. So we actually shoot first. So we get 3d6 based on our basic laser module. It's 3d6 that hits at a 2+. This being the Valkyrie, we get combat proficiency. So once per combat, choose 1 weapon. So we'll do our basic laser. You can roll 1 additional die, and that die can replace any other die that you rolled with it. If you choose not to roll this die, you recover 1 hull point. Okay? So we shoot first. Pew! Wow, that was a solid roll. Solid roll. Okay. So what do we need? We need a 2+ to hit, plus the agility of the enemy. Now, he happens to be pretty agile. He's got an agility value of 3. So we just add those together. So 3 plus 2 is 5. We need a 5 or better to hit this target. So this black dice, the one that was for weapon proficiency, is not going to help us out. So we're going to go ahead and not use this dice, and we're going to regain 1 hull point up to our maximum of, we're at 11, we're going to go to 12. Okay, and then we've hit basically twice. We have a 5 and a 6. So we did hit him for, we hit him twice. And now we figure out how much did we hit him for, how much damage. So we look at our basic laser, and we know that basically each power disc that's on the card equates to 1 damage. So we know that we've done 3 damage per hit. So we've done a total of 6 damage to the disruptor. His shields are going to absorb 2 of those. So 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 damage gets through to its hull, and he is immediately obliterated. Great job, everybody. Very nice. So we're just going to clear off the components, and then we're going to make a choice. Do we want to board this ship and steal some of its technology, hopefully for ourselves? Understanding that we haven't really upgraded our modules, so we don't have a whole lot of upgrade slots. There's a possibility we might just trade this in for a free hull point, but we're not not short any hull points, so it might be a waste. So do you guys want to wait until we're a little bit more damaged before we attempt to board? Because we know there's going to be some more combat. So we can wait for later combat to try to board, or what? What do you guys want to do? So boarding basically works, it's 6 minus your total crew. So 6 minus 3 in this case, you need a 3 or better to be successful. It's 1d6, and a failure results in the loss of a crew member. Success...
We're doing it.
Wilhelm's great. Okay, I love it. All right, so we're boarding. We're boarding. All right, so we're going to do 6 minus 6, which is the, obviously the maximum of a d6, minus your crew. Bear in mind, that means that if you have more crew, it's really easy to board a ship. So keep that in mind. 3 crew, we need a 3 or better. Here we go. That'll do it. That'll do it. Also, bear in mind that you can sacrifice crew members and take damage to the hull once per event. So if you used it during combat, you could not use it during boarding. Once per event, you can re-roll the dice with our standard heroism mechanic. Okay, so we were successful. We did board. We're going to draw from our loot deck. Oh, we got something we can use. This is a subsystem, orbital probes. That's awesome. So basically, for orbital probes, during colony work, improve the success chance. So no, it says like a 3+, it'll now be a 2+ for us to be successful for each power that's on this card. So we can get that all the way down to a 1+ for the first colony level, which is amazing. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna go ahead and slot that.
Before you go, explain how like basically the orbital probes are really an opportunity for you to be able to take on the upgraded missions because they get much more complex and more dangerous as you go along in the game. Okay,
so Nick is telling me to remind you guys that as you go further in the game, as you upgrade those colonies, they become settlements and cities eventually. It becomes much more difficult to complete those missions. This will allow us to complete those missions later in the game as we go into deeper runs. So this is very, very useful for our future runs. So this is going to slot under our utility module. So here's our utility module here. And just like how it has, the other cards have an upgrade slot at the very bottom, this has a green upgrade slot on the left. That's the slots for subsystems. So this ship at the moment can hold 1 subsystem. So that just slots into the side like that. And now we have our orbital probes. We do have to power them to make them work. So keep that in mind that if we see colony work coming up, make sure you scream out in chat, don't forget to power the orbital probes, because I cannot tell you how often I have forgotten that, and I beat myself up every time. Okay, so this...
We got to do it over 2 turns, so we got to think about this in advance.
That's right. It's when you see the colony work in the tertiary spot, that's when you got to start thinking about moving that power over through the utilities module. Okay, so we're going to put this defeated disruptor card off to the side. That'll get reshuffled in at the end of the jump. So we're just going to put that off to the side for now.
And never get the board marker.
And the boarding marker, that's right. We did attempt to board, so we're going to put a marker on boarded. You can only attempt to board once per run. Move that over a little bit. Once per run. So we cannot board any more ships that we fight. All right, anyway, we were successful. We come back to our deck, and we see that we've got a green check mark here, and it says that we can rotate this to gain ore in the queue. We still have at the very top, you can see, we still have 3 legacy points. So that has not gone down. If we were to lose, this would rotate, and we would slowly lose legacy points, eventually losing resources, and finally, it would be game over if we lost enough combat. All right, so in this case, we're going to gain those resources, and now we're full. That's right, we're totally full. We have 4 resource cards. We'll have to discard something to take more if we want. So we got to make some more decisions. So do we want to do the Adrift Life Pod, or do we want to take a smuggling contract, or do we want to just completely pass up on the smuggling contract and see what's next? We've got an orbital platform coming up next, and we'll talk about those here shortly. So we get to make a choice. We can completely skip the Adrift Life Pod. We could upgrade it by spending a Q, which is what I'd recommend. We can take the smuggling contract after that because we will have spent one of these Qs. So I think that's probably a pretty good plan. What do you guys think?
Smuggle the drugs. There's one answer.
Smuggle the drugs. Okay, so again, the problem with smuggling the drugs now is that you have to lose one of these resources. So you need to free up one of these spots. So we can either
Are you expecting chat to be like tactical right now? Nope, they are. You're smuggling, Alex. You got no choice.
Okay, so what should we get rid of then, if that's the case?
Oh, you just go ahead and pick something.
Okay, so in that case, this is an alloy, potentially to get it back. So I'll just get rid of one of the alloy, and we'll just do that. And then we're gonna take the smuggling contract. It says, our client pays highly for these. Make sure they get it. We're watching. So again, same thing as the other contract, except that it's a red cargo crate. So when we hit authority, if we weren't wanted, we would become wanted. And we can sell that on the black market for 2 Qs, or we can turn it in for 3 Qs, 3 legal Qs, if we were to get to an upgraded station. Okay, so now we have an Adrift life pod that we can attempt to complete. We could upgrade this as well, or we can go to the orbital platform and spend our Qs on copious amounts of crew. Okay, so let me explain how the orbital platform works. So the orbital platform allows you to spend your resources to gain something. In this case, you would spend 1 Q to gain 1 crew member, and you can do that as many times as you can afford. So if you wanted, so we have 4 Qs right now. If we wanted to spend all 4 Qs, we could do that, up to our ship maximum of 8 crew members, and also our life support module being powered appropriately as well. So keep that in mind. It costs an ore, which we do have 2 ores right now, to upgrade it. Once it's upgraded, you can then start turning in cargo contracts, and they'll give you money for those cargo contracts. Then it still costs 1 Q for hiring crew, and it will cost 2 of each resource to purchase something from the market, the station market. That's those 3 cars down here, these 3 technologies. We'd get to choose something. And I see something very tasty here. This is the boarding drones. They are awesome. That might be something we want to do. Also, target painter is really good. This upgrades our weapon and makes our accuracy better. That's pretty good too. Yeah, so that's our choice. So we have currently we have our unupgraded, just a standard orbital platform, not an outpost. That's available. We could hire a bunch of crew, or we could do our Drift life pod. What do you guys think?
They're chatting about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. I like a good discussion. Okay. So I think if we're going to do life support, then we should definitely power, if we're going to do crew, we should definitely power our life support. I'm going to preempt this by putting 2 cubes on here, just in case that's what you guys decide. We can now support, that's what it,
Crew, then upgrades.
Crew, then upgrades. Okay, so we're looking at 7, we can support up to 7 crew members. So we can spend all 4 Qs, if you want to spend all 4 Qs on crew members.
Crew and upgrades, that's what they voted for.
Max crew and upgrades? Okay, that's what we're doing then. So we're going to spend, all right, this is kind of cool actually. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's to gain 4 crew members, and we can spend the ore to upgrade the platform. So that's pretty awesome. So we'll do that. I'm going to spend all those. Okay, we're going to gain 4 crew members. We now have a total of 7 crew members on our life support. That's 7 rerolls, guys. That's fantastic. Very, very good. And then we're going to spend this last ore to upgrade the orbital platform, and that is to rotate it 180 degrees. It goes to the back of the deck. And now we've got, ooh, we should have checked to see that was coming. Now we've got the repair platform coming up. This is where you would repair your ship. We've got an outpost, and we've got the Adrift life pod. So we get to decide if we want to do the Adrift life pod or find work at the outpost. Remember, we have the orbital probes, but it's not powered. So we could do the Adrift life pod first, send a power to utilities, and then do the outpost, and then send the power to the orbital probes. So that would be our outpost option. So Nick, if you want to call that the outpost option, or we could just go willy-nilly and just do the outpost now.
I would say do the one that you just described, because
okay.
it's kind of complicated, so showing how they do it, just go ahead and show that one.
Okay, let me show you guys this one. So this is how this would work. So we're going to do the Adrift Life Pod. Okay. Before we do it, we're going to go ahead and manage our power. We're going to move one power from our basic laser to our utilities module, because it can't go directly to the orbital probes. It has to go through utilities first before it can power a subsystem. So we're going to attempt the Adrift Life Pod. All right, we got a 4+. It needed a 3+ to be successful. That's fantastic. We don't have any more resources to spend, so basically we're going to just gain this alloy. Then on this next turn, we've got the repair platform coming up. Just make sure, oh boy, here comes the pirate. So just to make sure, we've got the repair platform and the outpost coming up. We would move the power to orbital probes. And we're ready. We're ready to do the outpost. So we need a 3+ on this outpost. 6, nice. All right, so we were successful. We don't have any Qs to spend to upgrade it, but we will get to move our colonies tracker along its track. We would recover one hull. We're at max right now. Remember, this is run 1. This is a very kind of chill run to begin with. And then we will take the Q for our resource card. So that's how that one worked. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, excellent.
Nice easy run.
All right, so now we've got repair platform and pirate transmission. We can go immediately into combat, or we can, well, this is kind of, actually we have a queue. So what we could do is we could spend either an alloy or an ore to repair a hull, which we don't need, or we spend the Q to upgrade it. I think it's obvious that we're going to spend the Q to upgrade that, guys. What do you think? I hope nobody's against me on this decision. I'm going to go ahead and spend that Q, and we're just going to upgrade this repair platform. It's going to go to the back. And now we are into combat. And whenever a red text event, so in this case, a pirate transmission, becomes your primary event, so there's primary and secondary. When it becomes your primary event, it must be resolved immediately. So we are now in combat with the pirate. So again, we're going to draw from our combat deck, run 1 and 2. Oh man. We got ourselves a dreadnought, and we do have a behavior roll. So we're going to go ahead and roll for behavior of the dreadnought. A 4 is payoff. We do have an alloy that we could use to pay off the dreadnought. It would be considered a failure, so that wouldn't be great. Or we can do combat. I'm pretty sure I know at this point what you guys want to do. So I think we're going to go ahead and do the combat. All right, so let me go and put this back up here. Oh, I'll put it off to the side real quick. All right, so for power management. Okay, so we have this poor power stuck in our subsystem. It can only move 1 to the utilities module, so it is useless for us right now. We have to keep all of our power and life support, guys. This was your choice to power the life support. We can only support 5 if we have 1 cube in there, and 2 guys would die immediately if we were to move the power away from the life support. So now we're stuck. We have 3 power reactor chips here that are locked on their cards, on their modules. We have 2 to play with. I'm going to need a little help on this, guys. Do we want to go full defense, and just re-roll, just start sacrificing crew members? Or should we go for a little bit more pure offense, where we don't care what's going to happen. We put everything into basic lasers and we just try and blow this thing out of the water. You guys want to go offensive or defensive? This is going to be a tough one. It would be a little hilarious for us to.
Mr. Spaceman is brutal. He's saying.
What's he saying?
Unplug the life support.
Oh no. Oh, that is painful. Oh man.
Who's it gonna be?
Look the other way. All right, so
Spaceman says offense.
He's saying offense. Okay. We got 1 for offense.
Defense. Toxic Penguin is going defense.
Defense at this point.
Sacrifice. Ooh, I like that. We got sacrifice calls.
Sacrifice 1 to save the many. Okay.
I'll tell you what. This is a great story that you're telling. So, I think you tell the story the way they want the story told. Looks like we've got two people saying sacrifice or offense or defense. I think. Oh man, that's a tough one. This is a tough call for a captain.
This is very tough. This is a very tough call. I don't know if you guys can hear Nick, but he's saying that it's a very tough call for a captain. And this is what this game is all about. These hard decisions, these magic moments that come up throughout the game. So one way you could do it, like you said, we could get rid of the power and just totally kill two guys, or you can save those two guys and use them as rerolls, hoping that the rolls will be good enough. And if they're not, it's okay. We'll spend those guys anyway, and then we'll be able to move the power on the next combat round. So,
I'm going to demonstrate that, I guess.
What are people saying?
Show that through like an offensive roll, offensive one.
Okay. So what are they saying? Are they saying?
They're kind of deadlocked, so we're going to go with offense.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go with offense. Okay, we're going to go offense. So we're going to put power into basic laser for now. That's going to give us 2 damage per hit at the moment. Let's go back to the dreadnought. Oh man, this is going to be fun. All right, we'll go back to the dreadnought. We're going to populate his hull points. We're going to put our 3 round markers at the bottom of the card. And just to go over his stats, he has 7 hull points. He has 1 agility, 2 shields. Oh, he's pretty slow. He's pretty easy to hit. 2 shields. He rolls 3d6 at a 3+ to hit, and its damage is based on run. So in this case, it would still only be 1 damage per hit. So he shouldn't be able to hurt us too bad. However, he has this thing, special ability called ramming speed. So if any 6 is rolled by the dreadnought, suffer 2 hull damage regardless of your shields. And then your dreadnought also will suffer 2 hull damage. So he might just kill himself on this one, which would be hilarious. So I think we're ready. All right, we shoot first. We are in the Valkyrie, so we do get combat proficiency. This is once per combat, so this is usable again. Okay, let me move this out of the. That's fine. All right, so here we go. Okay, this is pretty good. Well, it started off good. Let's see exactly what we need. So
slide your card over to the side.
So for the
perfect. Okay.
For the basic laser, we need a 2+. That's our standard accuracy of the weapon, 2+. His agility of 1. Can you see that? His agility of 1 means that we need a 3 or better to hit him. And in this case, we've hit him on all 3 dice. So we don't actually need to use the black dice. However, we don't have any hull points to repair anyway. So in this case, it was just an extra bonus. So we did do 3 hits, and we were doing 2 damage per hit. That's 6 damage. 6 damage minus the 2 hull is 4 damage coming through to the hull. He is down to 3 hull points. Okay? Now it's his turn to fire back. Brace yourselves. He rolls 3d6. He hits on a 3 or better. We don't have any power in our engines, so we have no agility. We don't add anything to that 3+. It's just his straight accuracy. So we're going to roll the 3d6. Oh, man. These dice are really behaving today. Yeah, we also have no shields. Our shields are lowered as well. So 3+ to hit. At the moment, he did hit once. Now, we can sacrifice the crew to re-roll that 3, and we can try to get under the 3 in hopes that he will get 0 hits on us entirely. But you know what? Honestly, I think we're going to be okay. I kind of want to keep our guys, our life support module full. I like having all these crew members. So in this case, let's just take the damage. We have no shields. He does 1 damage per hit, so we're going to take 1 hull point. So in this case, it's not so bad. So we're down to 11 hull. All right, that was the first round. So we take 1 of the round markers off, and then we do the same thing again. We've got power management. Now we can unlock this power that was stuck in the utilities module, and we can move that to, what do you think, Nick? Should we go, they wanted offense, right?
We're full offense, yeah.
Yeah, all right, full offense then.
Let's try to alpha this dude. Well, it's not really an alpha anymore.
Yeah, that's a little late for that. All right, so we got 3 power now in our basic laser. We still have our 2 power in our life support module. We have 0 agility. We're just sitting in front of him. We're just taking shots. We have no shields up. We're just looking like a tasty target here. Here we go. So we're gonna, no, we don't get to roll the extra dice this time because it's once per combat. Okay, so this is just whatever we get. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, put those there. Okay, all right, we need a 2 + 1, that's a 3. We need a 3 or better to hit. We've got 1 hit, which does 3 damage. He would absorb that with 2, so 1 damage would get through. Personally, I think a reroll is in order. Do you guys want to sacrifice Steve? Do you want to sacrifice Steve? It's a tough question. Steve's been with us for a long time. He's a valued member of this crew. In fact, he was potentially with you back at the academy. So it's a tough choice. Do we want to sacrifice Steve? Oh, we could also sacrifice, oh no, we can't do, yeah, we could. We can sacrifice a hull point as well, because it's once per event. So we still haven't used that yet. We could sacrifice a hull point as well. So we could do a crazy maneuver and clip the dreadnought a little bit, or hit a piece of floating asteroid in the area to avoid, actually that would be to do more damage. So we'd be lining up with him just right. What do you guys think?
Send Mark.
Send Mark. No one likes him. You know what? We can send Mark. Mark's down here. All right, Mark. Are we doing that, Nick? Is that what we're doing?
We got 1 hull, 1 crew. We need a tiebreaker.
Oh, we need a tiebreaker. Okay, let's see if we can get a tiebreaker. We're here. We got 1 for Steve.
Sacrifice 2 and just change the dice face. I mean, always an option.
Oh, that's true too. That's a good point. Okay, so another option we could do.
We're doing crew.
Sacrifice crew? Okay, so we're going to do, guess what, guys? We're going to do Steve and Mark because they were best friends. And when Steve got ready, he said, I'm not doing this without Mark. So they're gone. If you sacrifice 2 crew members, you can change a dice face to anything you want. So it's even better than a reroll. We'll set that to a 6. That's 2 hits. 2 hits at 3 damage each. That's 6 damage total. Minus the 2 is 4. 4 hull damage. It is destroyed. We have defeated the dreadnought. Unfortunately, we can't board it because we boarded the disruptor earlier on in the run, but the ship will go here in the bottom right, and we'll continue on. Thank you so much, Steve and Mark. Truly heroes of the live stream, if you ask me. That was our pirate transmission. We were successful. We gain the Q and the alloy. Now we come up on an orbital platform, or an authority transmission. So the orbital platform at the moment is unupgraded. We don't have any ore, so we don't have any ore, so we can't upgrade it. We can hire back a few more crew. We have 1 Q, so we could potentially hire somebody back. Behind the authority transmission is a merchant vessel, and I'll tell you about that here in a little bit, but at the moment, we don't need to save anything for that. So do you guys want to hire a little bit more crew? Or do we want to just go right into the authority scan, knowing that we are wanted criminals and we will be attacked for this? We will be punished. What do you guys think? It's a moment of silence for Steve and Mark. Oh man, that was sad. Do we have any takers? Orbital platform, hire some more crew, or go after the authority? Anybody responding, Nick?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's the chat or something else, but no one didn't say anything, so I think we just go for it.
Okay, so we're still live though, right?
Yeah, I'm not even seeing it live yet.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so
Crew. Yeah, 1 for crew.
1 for crew. Okay, so we can do that. It's gonna be a little expensive because we're gonna be spending an alloy along with it, so you don't get change back. So when you spend a Q, you spend everything on that resource card.
2 for crew. We're ignoring you.
Reload the crew. Okay.
Ignoring you and your common sense.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna spend the Q, and then we are going to gain 1 new crew member. This person is filling some big shoes. This will be Jeanette. All right, Jeanette is now part of the crew. Down here, okay, so we finished the orbital platform that goes to the back of the card. We didn't upgrade it rather. And now we have the authority transmission, which is now the primary event, so it must be resolved. And we do this the same way. So you'll notice here that it says, if you are carrying red cargo, which we're not, or if we're wanted, which we are, combat. All right, so we'll do that. So we're going to draw from the combat deck run 1 and 2, and we've got ourselves an interceptor. Very fast ship. It has an agility of 3. Very, very fast. And we get to do, oh, actually, we do not get to do a behavior roll because this is authority. So again, if you look at the very top, if it's authority, it's just immediately combat. Immediately combat, no escaping. All right, so no behavior roll there. Now let's do our power management. So we've got 6 crew members in our life support. Well, we can support 6 crew members. With 1 power, we can support 5. So we would lose 1 if we moved a power away. So far on this run, I think it's safe to say that the best defense is a fantastic offense. So I think we're going to go ahead and stick with that. Okay, so let's populate the interceptor hull points of 3. We're going to put our 3 round trackers on the bottom of the card, and we get to shoot first. Our basic laser is powered up. We're doing 3 damage per hit. We need 2 plus 3. We need a 5 or better. 5 or better to hit, and it looks like we've got at least 2 hits. That's pretty darn good. Yeah, we're doing 3 damage per hit. 6 damage, minus 2 is 4. That's 0. We blew him out of the water. That was crazy. Excellent. He thought he was fast. We were faster. So the interceptor is destroyed. We can't board him once again because it's still the same run, but he'll go over here. And we have managed to escape the authority interceptor. So we were successful. In this case, again, we get to gain the resources. That's an ore and an alloy. We still have 3 legacy points based on this card. And if we weren't, because we did combat and we defeated him, we would become wanted at this case, at this point rather. And we are already wanted, so it doesn't matter. We gain those resources. So now we have a merchant vessel and mining again. Yay! It's so nice to do something a little bit less aggressive after all that fighting. So we've got this merchant vessel. The way the merchant vessel works is that you can turn alloy or ore into either 2 alloy or 2 ore into 1 alloy and 1 ore. So it kind of spreads out your resources a little bit. Or you can spend an ore to go to an ore processor, which will eventually allow you to spend 2 ore and a Q to turn into 3 alloy. Or you can go, which does the same thing but for ore. So you can spend 2 alloy and a Q to get 3 ore. Or finally, you can go to the manufacturer where you pretty much sell either 2 ore or 2 alloy to gain 3 Q. So this is how you can kind of convert your resources into more useful resources as you go. So that's the merchant vessel. At the moment, I don't really see anything super useful with the merchant vessel. And then of course we have mining. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's pass up on that. And then we're gonna go to, we have either mining, 1 more life pod, and then our final jump card. So to wrap it up, we wanna do either mining or colony work. I'm gonna guess you guys really like those colonies. Let's see if there's any strategies here.
So kind of going through kind of a little quicker.
Yep, no worries. So the Adrift Life Pod, it's looking like we don't have any queues anyway. Yeah, so none of this is really gonna affect us too much. Let's do the ore first. We're gonna need a 3 or better. 3 or better for this mining. We did it. That was pretty easy. We have no queues to spend. We're just gonna take the ore. And then for the Adrift Life Pod or the jump card, obviously we're going to do the Adrift Life Pod. We need a 3 or better. We got it. We have no queues to spend, and we gain that alloy. And that's it. So we've got 4 of our resource cards ready to go for our next run, and we're at the jump card, which is basically the end of that run. So I'm going to take this jump card. I'm going to show you guys how this works. So basically it says spend 1 fuel. So we're going to go over to a stellar drive and we're going to spend a fuel. Then it says to rotate the stellar drive card. So we're going to rotate it. So now we're now on run 2. All right. Then it says shuffle the defeated enemies back into the combat deck. Okay, well, we're back. Sorry about that. Looks like the camera died on the battery died on the camera. Okay, so everything working okay?
Yep.
You can hear me?
Back. And the stream is just still in the animation screen, but coming right back. So.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see, where were we? We were at the jump card. So then it says to shuffle the defeated enemies back into the combat deck. So we're just going to take the enemies that were defeated, and we're going to shuffle those back into this combat deck. There's a total of 6 enemies per combat deck at the moment. Okay, if you were unable to spend a fuel, by the way, it would be game over. We'd basically be stuck. That's one of the game-ending scenarios. Now we can replace one item in the station market. In this case, we have a reactor upgrade. Unfortunately, our reactor is not upgraded itself, so it can't take an upgrade, a module upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and cycle that. I'm going to put that at the bottom of the loot deck, face up, and then I'm going to draw a new loot card to replace it. And we got, ooh, that's nice, Triage Drones, which is a weapon upgrade. For each 6 you roll with this weapon, repair a hull. Very, very useful, yeah, in later games. Okay, so that's the station market, and then it says place this card, well, let's see, place any unresolved events at the back of the deck, and then place this card at the back of the deck. So basically, we would be ready for another run. And we would be officially on run 2.
Fantastic.
So that is... That's it.
That's a great...
Okay. So let's talk a little about that. Okay, so Kickstarter, October 1st, 10 a.m., I believe, Eastern Time. Is that right, Nick?
That's right.
Okay.
Tuesday, October 1st,
Tuesday, October 1st, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be on Kickstarter. There's going to be many levels to the Kickstarter. We're going to have lots of cool stretch goals. You'll be able to get a hold of some really cool stuff, including this game mat, which hopefully will be, well, it'll probably be another prototype or 2, but this is pretty much what it's going to look like. Super useful in playing the game and organizing the game, especially. We'll have potentially some expansions, maybe. We'll talk about that a little bit more during the Kickstarter. Anyway, we really hope to see you guys there. We hope you've enjoyed the live stream. We'll be doing another one of these probably in another, what do you think, Nick? Another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks?
Yeah, probably about that much time.
Yep.
But don't forget about our interview tomorrow.
That's right. We do have an interview tomorrow with Mike from is it Board Games for One. So we'll be on his, I think it's a live stream, right? Yeah, his live stream. Yeah. And we'll be talking about, I guess, our favorite solo games. So I'm I'm an avid solo gamer, as you all know.
Mine's Voidpilot's Legacy.
Yeah, it's definitely Voidpilot's Legacy. But if that one didn't count, yeah. So basically, I think that's pretty much all we've got going on for now. Keep an eye on our socials. So please like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, on Facebook. We're also on X, Twitter, and I think we have some stuff. We have Instagram as well. I'm pretty sure we do. So just follow.
On Instagram.
Yep. So make sure that you follow us on our socials. Keep an eye out for all of our updates. Everything will be there, and we can't wait to see you guys during the campaign. Once again, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us. We really appreciate you. We're so happy to have you here with us. And again, we hope when you get this game that you guys love playing it as much as we love making it. It's so much fun. All right, guys, that's it for us. I think we're going to move on into the outro. Bye-bye, Nick.